Name is Faisal Khan, and I'm an automobile journalist when I seek respect, and I'm an automobile influencer when I seek money. Simple as that. So, otherwise, I call myself an entrepreneur, but usually I don't do that. I'm actually the oldest content creator in India. Yes, the oldest. How is that possible? So as a child, I always had a great interest into cars. I never used to study. My parents were always worried that will he pass his exams, and I used to always be on the borderline, like always on the borderline, because all I used to think was about cars. So the internet started becoming a thing in around 2005, and that is the time I actually started participating on forums, writing random comments here and there about cars. And I used to get kicked out for my strong opinions and terrible English. My English was really very pathetic. So then in 2007, I decided that, see, I'm putting so much effort writing about cars and people are kicking me out of their forums. Why not start something of your own? So I actually landed up on something known as Blogspot. I don't know how many of you know that. Anyone knows what Blogspot is? So basically, it's a blogger platform wherein you can get a free blog domain, right? And my domain was something like, whatever the name is, I'm too embarrassed to tell you right now, .blogspot.com. Now you're approximately 16, 17-year-old on the internet all day. Your parents are obviously worried, what are you doing? So my parents used to keep asking me, what are you doing? So I explained to them, I write about cars on this website. So they became very proud of that. So any guest who used to come in the house, you know what, my son is a writer, he has his own website, and that was something which was a big thing back in 2007. But it was also a bit embarrassing telling the name of .blogspot.com. So I decided that it's time I should register a domain name. It makes life much more easier to just tell people, you know what, this is my website. But I didn't have a credit card to register. I pestered my brother for almost 6-7 months. And finally, I got the name Motorbeam because I always wanted a .com domain name. I didn't want something which was .in. And this was back in 2008. That time also .com wasn't easy to get. So I registered this domain name and I used to write about cars every day. Somehow, I was all about consistency. No matter what used to happen, I would always write an article every day about cars on this particular website. And slowly, I became better at it. From the terrible English, which would actually make my eyes bleed today, to improving dramatically, wherein people call me that they come to see my videos just to learn English. So first things first, consistency is the key. If you're consistent, you can do anything in the world. So that's something which I thankfully learned way back. Next thing, I was studying when I was doing all this. So the first 5 years, I finished my graduation. I did my MBA in finance from Symbiosis Pune. And funnily enough, I have not studied journalism. I have not done engineering. And I am doing something in this field right now. So fast forward to around 2012, I finished my MBA. And I had actually done an internship in the stock exchange because I was very much interested in finance. And I realized this is not something I can pursue. I cannot work a 9 to 5 because it's not for me. So my parents were always supportive. My parents are like, yeah, why are you even giving interviews? At the end of the day, you just continue doing Motorbeam because you know you like cars and that's what you're going to pursue. So I always had that backing. So there was no pressure of earning money. Now, I'm not going to bore you through the details, but 2016, which is approximately 9 years into this, I hadn't earned any money personally. Whatever money I was earning, I was putting it back into running the website and all that. So I had not earned anything at all. And I used to think, man, yaar, I'm so famous. Like, in the automobile category, everybody knows me, but that was not true. So I had made a brand Motorbeam, but nobody knew me personally because it was all about the brand Motorbeam. And that's when vlogging was started as a culture. And the whole dynamics of the market changed. So that is when I decided that, okay, now I need to get into vlogging. And actually ran this through few of the people I know from TV. I have quite a lot of friends in TV. So they told me, my initial plan was to launch it as Motorbeam Vlogs. They told me, no, don't do that. Launch it as your personal name because people will relate to you with your personal name, of course. So that was the second lesson of evolving over time. You can't sit comfortably in your position. You have to keep changing with time. And in 2017, I launched my channel, Faisal Khan, on my personal name. Now, it was purely a passion project. I never thought, like if you tell me now, 5 years back, that I would have made even 1 rupee from this, I would laugh. Because it was very casual. I didn't want any reliance on anybody at all. So I used to shoot, I used to edit, I used to anchor, I used to do everything, every process from top to bottom. And I had a team of 10-15 people. I would never ever bring them into this project because for me it was all about passion driven. So another very important thing is passion. Do something you are passionate about. Because when I started it in 2017 and I have put 1,000 videos in 1,000 days, which is one video every day, which means one video every day for 3 years. And this was possible because I was passionate about it. I didn't decide I'm going to put one video every day. I just wanted to do it because I really enjoyed making videos. I really enjoyed talking about cars. And one thing led to another. In 2018, I decided to launch my own D2C brand known as FKR, Faisal Khan Racing. And that time, again, I was thinking of launching it as Motorbeam merchandise, Motorbeam gear. It was not technically merchandise because I was selling riding jackets worth rupees 8,000. So the plan was to launch it as Motorbeam gear. Then somebody, again, a very senior guy from the industry told me, see, nobody's going to relate to Motorbeam. People will relate to you. Relatability is the most important factor right now. You can get the best camera person, you can get the best equipment, the best camera, best editor. It's not going to help you. People need to relate to you, right? Even if I make a shoddy video, people will relate to me thinking, okay, he's done something. So that's another big lesson, because I had done a campaign with one big two-wheeler brand. And once the video went up, the comments were all about, we love this video because you have done it. And it was a race from one place to another. It was a motorcycle versus a train race. And people loved it because I had done it. So another important thing in the social media world is that people firstly appreciate what individuals are able to pull off rather than brands. Because with brands, people know there's so many people in the team, there's so much money, they can do anything. But when an individual does it, it is respected a lot more. Anyways, talking about the D2C brand, so we named it Faisal Khan Racing because I was told big brands like Louis Vuitton, brands like Prada, Gucci are names of people. Nobody remembers or associates so much with S. Beda or Baguette, or I'm sorry if anybody uses that here, but nobody associates with those brands because at the end of the day, people relate to people. Anyways, moving us ahead, I started making videos of really high-end expensive cars very soon as I launched my brand, my new YouTube channel. And a lot of people used to comment, yaar, isko kaise gaadi de dete itni jaldi, abhi to uska naya channel hai and all that stuff. People didn't know that in the back end, I have spent 10 years of my life networking that today I can call any car brand in the world to get a car immediately. Yes, I can call any car brand right now, Ferrari, Lamborghini, anyone to get the car immediately because I have spent those 10 years focusing on networking with people. So that was another thing which I focused on. Now, the thing is, what I realize is that people want results very quickly. If you're building your brand organically, you have to be very patient. You have to take your time. There's a difference between people searching for you, hunting you, finding you, and then looking at your content. And there's another difference between you stuffing that content on their face using paid marketing. So, thankfully, I have been very patient. And when you're young, you're not very patient. So I don't know how I got that. Probably I'll tell you the biggest factor is to be distracted. To be so focused on something, you don't get the time to think, right? If I have that pressure of earning money from whatever I'm making, I will always have that anxiety, oh my God, how much money I've done this month. But the first 5 years, when I did not earn any money, I was studying. And because I was studying, I never actually got the time of thinking, oh, you know what, I need to make this much money, I need to pay these bills and all. So that pressure has not always been there. So whatever you do, never do it for money. Never, ever, ever copy anybody else. Have your own style, because in your own style, you will be much more relatable to people. Like, I didn't prepare for this presentation. Today morning, I think around 9:30, I was asking him, what is the topic of my presentation? And he's like, we already told you, have you not prepared? And I don't prepare for any of my videos. I just go, talk, whatever I feel like. There are fumbles, I put them, but people are able to relate to all this. Now I'm going to come to my elevator pitch, which is basically if anybody asks me, who are you? So I tell them I'm India's biggest automobile influencer. I know it's a bit of a narcissist thing to say, but there are publications which have more followers. But in terms of reach, in terms of engagement, I trump everybody. I trump everybody in terms of popularity because I've never focused on the numbers. I've always focused on doing things which are more passion-driven. I think all of you are already sleeping right now. That's why I'm going to ask all of you a question. How many of you actually use a car in one way or the other? Hands up. I can see almost everybody uses a car, right? So someone was telling me in the morning, man, you live an amazing life. You get to drive all the cars. You get to go to multiple countries and all. I remember in those 3 years of putting videos, I've been to 12 countries, and yet I've never missed a day of putting videos in spite of being in a different time zone. So yes, of course, I have a ball of a time traveling and driving the most amazing cars in the world, but the grass is always greener on the other side. There are things which make me very angry and upset. So I'm just going to end my speech here, and I'm just going to conclude by saying 3 things. Number 1, be you, always be you, focus on yourself as a brand, and people will relate to it. There's nothing right or wrong. Nobody can come and teach you and tell you, you know what, this is the right thing to do. This is the way to make content. You can do it anyhow. I am the person who used to make all content with a GoPro mounted on my head, which is like a point of view. Now everybody else is also copying it, but that was a very different take. My whole idea was that if I'm going to review a car, why do you need to see my face, right? If you want to see someone's beautiful face, there are a lot of websites to help you with that. I'm going to show you the car. So the video always starts with the car. You can't see me in the video because it's all about the car. I am talking continuously for 20, 30, 40 minutes, talking about the car and showing you the car, but I'm not showing my face because at the end of the day, people have come to see the car. So I think in terms of the way content has been done, the way the content ideology has been there, I have completely changed everything and I've got a lot of flack for it. People are like, yaar, tu itni tez kyun bolta hai? And what is wrong with you? We can't see you. Who are you? Why don't you want to show your face and all that? And secondly, be consistent. Consistency can get you anywhere. From writing English, which was so terrible 12, 15 years back, to being able to speak so fluent right now, I think consistency can really get you to places. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. Thank you so much.